Giuseppe Verdi was born in 1813 and died in 1901. He created Nabucco, his third opera, for La Scala in Milan, with its first night on the 9th of March, 1842. It was a La Scala commission for the carnival season.
Verdi has often been compared to Shakespeare in his ability to combine and explore material that develops individual conflict against a much wider background of major political events. One of the first operas that does that is his opera Nabucco, in which the Babylonian king, Nabucco, or Nabucodonosor, to have his full Old Testament name, the king of the Babylonians, has invaded and indeed taken Jerusalem. And when he's taken this city, he's taken a huge number of the Hebrews into slavery. Nabucco, who considers himself to be a king of absolute power, has two daughters. One is his daughter Fenena, and the other is his half-daughter Abigail. And these two women have fallen in love with the same man, one of the Hebrew prisoners, Ismaele. The conflict between these two women in their love for this one man becomes very intense because Abigail, who is power-hungry, discovers that in fact she is not the half-daughter of her father, and her fury at discovering this leads her to want to take vengeance and to take over herself, particularly after Nabucco is struck mad as punishment for comparing himself to God and considering himself to be even greater. So Verdi contrasts this material of great individual and personal anguish against the background of larger political events.
Verdi, after personal tragedies and the failure of his second opera, Un giorno di regno, thought he would never write an opera again, but it was the words of Va pensiero that inspired him to compose again. Now, what is Va pensiero? Well, Va pensiero are the first two words of a chorus, the chorus of the Hebrew slaves in the second scene of Act 3 of Nabucco. It is the heart of the opera. We find the Hebrew slaves on the banks of the Euphrates sending their thoughts, pensiero. Va, go, thoughts. Greet the river Jordan and the destroyed towers of Zion. Oh, my beautiful country, si bella, so beautiful e perduta, and lost.
Opera has often had to hide its message, as has musical theatre sometimes too, to avoid having problems with the censors. I mean, Giuseppe Verdi, who always loved to sail very close to the wind of censorship and very often was unhappy unless he knew that he'd chosen a subject that would cause trouble. He actively enjoyed that and was determined to try to make his point, whether it was Traviata or Rigoletto or indeed Nabucco.
Now, what's remarkable about this very, very famous and iconic chorus is that it starts in unison. So it lends itself very, very much for people to join in. Now, that's not what's expected at the Opera House, but you do feel like singing when you hear it. This is obviously the water. Very recognizable theme it is. And that repeats, and so everybody's singing the same melody. This opera later on was to become a symbol of Italy's fight for independence. Now the chorus develops and finally goes into parts where it talks about the silenced golden harp. Silenced harp that is balancing on the willow tree and breaking the words perché mu ta di sa li ci pe, as if they're almost on the verge of tears, and then the chorus becomes rousing again. Interestingly, the melody comes back in unison again. But this time with a diminuendo. gets softer. Another wave. Another crescendo, getting louder. But then back. And again. And then in parts again. Disappearing. And the prayer goes up into the ether.